Hi there. Welcome back. If you've ever done a Facebook Live, they do the 3, 2, 1 countdown. It's the most nerve-wracking thing. Like, where's my face going to be at 1? So that's sometimes why you get the look of where's the camera lens when I log on. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. So how about that energy this last week or so? I used to do these energy alerts, but then I realized that people would use them as a reason to act like nudges, and I just didn't want to give permission for, not that I would be given permission, but I didn't want to give a tool for someone to blame the universe or to be acting like said nudge. However, there is definitely a flow that is happening right now, and last week leading into this week, Wednesday eased up a little bit yesterday, but I feel like there's going to be 3 or 4 more days of it. And what that energy is this push to release old belief systems, to be clearing out what we've thought we already cleared out, stuff that we thought we worked through may be coming up again. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying then that you're going to get hit with a boomerang or anything, but we tend to understand things at different levels, and we'll be clearing and thought we completely moved through something, and then there'll be another level of awareness that happens. So I just wanted to cover some of what I was seeing, because it's a little different than energy surges that we've had this past year, in that it was creating some physical sensations. And you should always get this stuff checked out if you have any. But I do want to say that there was a such a raise in frequency universally, which is again a good thing, that it was creating like a lot of internal, like, muscle fatigue, crampiness, maybe some digestive upset, but you also need to look at what you ate. But just this feeling of like it's in my body, but not quite in my body, almost like you couldn't put a finger on it. And at one point this last week, I was like, should I get tested for Lyme? Like, something's going on. And then that's when I tapped in and realized, no, this is frequency. So whenever we grow universally, all right, so as a collective, mindfully, globally, any of those adverbs, it tends to raise our non-physical vibration, and then our physical bodies have to adjust to that, and they have to come up, and they're not so great at that. They're still in their Neanderthal form, in that they're slow to process the energy through, because we're physical and a little bit more dense. Some of us a little more dense than others. But the wave that's been coming through is one that is kind of pushing us whether we want to grow or not. So I would highly recommend a lot of water. Get that body moving, maybe some massage to help move through as well, acupuncture. Hello, ladies. Thank you for joining me. We're talking about the energy surge that's been going on this last week, and will continue through next Wednesday or so. It'll start to dissipate, so it won't be as forceful as it has been. So if you've been exhausted the last week or so, this could be contributing. You definitely need to be mindful and take responsibility for your own health. But we are being affected. Now, the good news is that when you go through this process, if you're mindful of it, you can help to experience and to, expand because of the experience, and raise your own vibration which means being more open, being more intuitive, being more aware of other people's emotions. And when you're conscious that something's happening, sometimes you don't take it personally if the other person is really cranky or doesn't want to get together because they feel like they just need to stay home and rest. Um, so part of the reason that I wanted to talk about it was to bring some awareness to it, but also so you can take advantage of it. So this would be a very good time to look at what is not lining up with you, like what doesn't feel like you can tolerate anymore. We hear that and we become aware of it, but a lot of the times we're really good procrastinators and we put it off. So the energy that is happening is one that I feel like I just keep getting this image, like if you jump on the wave of, I'm willing to see what doesn't resonate with me, I'm willing to see what does, and give myself permission to do more of that thing, we can ride it and it'll just take you a little bit further. So not unusual to have surges like this. It happens all the time. But this is the first time in a long time I've seen where it can affect the physical self. So it would be a really good time to look at what substances might be in your life that are no longer serving you. So coffee is out for me and dairy's on its way out, because that's the message I got, was that was blocking my antenna now, and it's just not going to be, it's going to be more difficult to work around it. And I feel like if I'm going to be of service to anyone, I have to have as clear a channel as I possibly can. So where in your life do you feel you would like to clean up your act to get a bit more honestly clear about? And what would you like to use this next, 5 days of energy to help you? So as we move through, we will be experiencing, I think, more joy, but that's really going to be up to you. And if you are someone who tends to lean towards the whiner side of things, it is not going to be joyful for you. It's going to feel like you're being pulled through a knothole backwards or something. That resistance, the momentum that is here and carrying us forward, if you resist it, it will hit back with equal force. I like to think of it as like a smack to the forehead from the universe saying, I'm giving you this energy. Are you not going to ride it? Hello, ladies. Thanks for showing up. Mary Jean, Gina. Hey, Gina, twice in one day. Nice to see you again. I did the John Kroll show this morning, so she popped in there. Amy. There were a couple other people that popped in, but it scrolls so fast on his big TV screen that a lot of times I can't keep up and look at the camera and listen to him. So it's a lot that goes on in that studio. So grateful that he asked me on. So the momentum that's coming in is bringing like this almost giddiness to it. And what I'm seeing is people not knowing what to do with that. And that's kind of sad to me, that people don't know what to do with happy. And I think a lot of that is because we get so fixated externally that we forget to check in to our own barometer, our own feelings. So you may find that you have more of an interest in being creative. You may find that you have more a sense of self, that you decide, no, this job's not for me. And rather than just lament that this job isn't for me, maybe you fill out an application, maybe you accept an interview, perhaps you jump at the opportunity for something that looks like it may not be the best logical decision, but it feels the best to you. So you follow that trajectory. So this always in life, but especially this next week, if you can spend some time listening to what works for you, you can move your own law of attraction, your own magnetism forward, and then have that stuff be meeting you, because the energy and the manifestation in the universe will do its job if you're willing to show up for your part of it. We can't just ask it, we can't just throw it out there and wish. You have to be willing to move said ours. So thank you, Gina. I appreciate the fact that you enjoy the chats. And so let me ask the ones that are on right now, since you're right there with your thumbs ready. What is an area that you find challenging or difficult to allow yourself to receive? That might feel like, man, I'd really like to ride this wave, but I don't know if that's for me, or, because sometimes I'll hear from people that, that's that thing for everybody else, like joy and love and abundance, and that's somebody else's story. It's not for me. The ability to see self-worth and to feel self-worth, oh man, work on that one, because once you have that, this life thing is pretty much cake. Gluten-free. Amy says she's been wanting to start new projects this week. I feel like I have too many ideas to know what to do with right now. I can see where that not only can someone have a lot of ideas and not know where to start, but the energy of this week will definitely create that scenario. So Amy, what if you took like a notebook page, or like one of those, the conference things where you stick it on the wall and you write on the big white paper, poster board or something like that. Make 3 columns. The first column being just literally a written flow, conscious stream flow of what you would like to do, like what project. Spit it out, one right after the other, and just list. The second column is going to be where you go down through and you look at the ones and you feel each one, and you feel, ooh, that one feels exciting. That one feels a little nerve-wracking. And the first column, what you're going to do is you're going to write down the ones that feel exciting, the ones that maybe those are the ones that take 10 minutes, and the sense of accomplishment afterwards it's like a buy one get one, right? You get the project done, but you also get the feeling of euphoria because you completed something. That's often how I clean my house. Like what's the quickest thing that'll be done, because then I feel successful and I move on to the next. So a lot of people will take on the big project and then feel defeated. I like to flip it and take on the one that's going to take less time, so that you just feel like you completed things. So your third column is going to be any of the ones that you went, or I can't do that, or who do I think I am? Any of those critic thoughts that might pop up. And you can do them simultaneously. Like you don't have to do just the ones that light you up and then the ones that freak you out a little bit. Now, once you have that, you can either fold over the whole list so it's not so overwhelming to your head, or you can transfer it to individual pieces of paper. And so you're looking at the ones that feel like they're playful and doable. Is that a word? Doable. So the column that has the projects in it or the ideas in it where you feel some hesitation or some doubt within yourself, I would actually look at those to do one of those first. Because once you bust that energy on one of those projects, the rest are going to just flow. The idea is to pick one completed, the next one completed, the next one completed. Because when you get too many going at once, it's a big misconception that we can multitask. Our brain only pays attention to one thing at a time. So when you go back to that practice and you honor the fact that that's how our brain is wired, and you do that one project, again, you get to celebrate, but you also reinforce your focus ability, which is going to help you no matter what you're doing. So does that make sense, Amy? And I like to do that, especially for those who get caught in like analysis paralysis, where you're just going around in circles because you're thinking about doing something, you're not actually doing it. So the minute you do one thing and accomplish it, tends to break the pattern. Miss Beth, transition and expansions with work, feeling ready, and how to wait for the movement to happen when the time is right. Patience. Feeling ready. I would ask why you don't feel ready when you definitely already have the skills on board. So that limiting belief system there that I might have to learn something else, or I'm not up to task, or any of that is what I would look for. Rather than wait for the movement to happen when the time is right, what do you need to do to be at your most applicable self when that door opens? So there's some personal projects, maybe they're not work related, maybe you need a weekend at the spa. What is really happening there that can assist you in this patience word you use? Is it patience or is it trust that it's going to unfold? So I would still do what I just said, like point your compass to something that's not in this situation specific. So get your focus on personal development, on flower gardens, on something that has nothing to do with waiting for someone else to be ready to hand over the baton. Because that can be nerve-wracking. And not only that, it can completely get in the way of the situation flowing, because we're looking at the clock, even if you're not consciously doing that. Like a lot of this stuff, happens in the subconscious. It's not right front and center that I'm tapping my fingers on the desk waiting for something to reveal itself. So I don't know that it's patience as much as it is being open and trusting the process, and then attending to anything else that you might have sitting back there. So you know how to do a list. I love lists. Lists are a great way to ground. We have so much that's flying around in our heads that we don't even pay attention to because it's so active there. And then never mind the visual stimulation that's happened in our world, and then the blue screen that's going on and affecting everything. So when you feel, if you feel like the whole system is spinning around you, the first thing I would go to is a list. You can do a list of feelings. You can do a list of things that actually you want to do, that you have to do, or people to contact. It's a way to purge the cobwebs from your head and have something in tangible form, because we are still physical. As much as we're spiritual beings, we're physical beings, and we have to merge the two, I believe, in order to really rock this human experience. So sometimes we go, and we don't take any time to defrag and to release all this stuff. So big fan of lists. And I really like the written aspect of it. Some of that is so our handwriting doesn't become so atrocious because we've been typing everything that we can't read anything. I closed on my house yesterday, and I had to sign my name like 7 or 8 times. It wasn't as bad as when you're buying a house. But I was like, I don't know if I remember how to do this, like, except for at the grocery store on the pad. So, so getting yourself grounded is also going to help you ride this pretty good wave. I'm so excited about it. Miss Gina, in a crossroad with work. Okay, gotcha. Looking and trying to decide what to do. If I make a choice that will not support my living. You're welcome, Beth. And Ames. I've said Amy's name 3 different ways today. You got a bunch of nicknames today. Colleen, oh, well, we do tend to line up, don't we? That list making is just so powerful. There's going to be fear. There doesn't have to be, but there can be, Gina, can I change your fear word? Because the feeling that's actually coming in is not a fear as much as it's a feeling of there's a, or maybe it's just misdirected. It can be a fear energy, but it's misdirected. I don't feel like it's so much towards the support part and changing. I feel like it's more a fear that you give yourself permission to do it, to make a shift, and then you jump and the net appears. Love that expression. And then I feel like you're going a little too far forward in being wow, you got a big zigzag going there, where you're going too far forward, looking back on, geez, I should have done this earlier. So if you can work with your subconscious there, maybe I forgive myself for believing that I've missed the boat in the past, and it will be the same this way, or something along those lines, because it feels like you're holding yourself back from even lining up with a position that would support you, sorry, in conjunction with the massage work. So it's more really you allowing yourself to say, this is it. And it doesn't have to be like it's been in the past, where I stop, start. So for you, your list, who knew this was going to be about lists? So your list could be every emotion attached with this, including the ones of excitement, doubt. Will I be able to, I don't know, have health insurance? You can. We really can. Will I be able to manage my billing? You know, whatever pops up, sit down and just let it be a running dialogue that gets captured on paper so that you can work it out. So that fear word can lock us up. I think sometimes once we identify an energy of fear, we just slam on the brakes, and it's like, why? Sometimes the thing that scares you the most returns the greatest investment. So think of something that you've already done, that you did well, and that you were scared poopless going into, but it worked out well. And then you are grateful you did it afterwards. So I think you need to find a different 4-letter word than fear. So let me know what that ends up being, okay? And don't go immediately to love, because this isn't about the opposite thing. It's more along the lines of how do you believe in yourself? So not sure what that would be. You can do 5, 6, 7, 8 letters if you'd like. So to wrap it up, so I can go to my next space, and you guys can get on with your Friday. Thank you for joining me. Through the next 5 days, it's going to continue. We're going to see it again in the end of August. So you can do this at any point, deciding to expand thyself. When you're meeting with others and you may see their resistance in themselves, resistance in whatever you're talking about, or running their chapter, have a little compassion for the fact that they may not be aware that everybody gets impacted by an energy push. Everyone. So they may not be aware, and they may not be on the side of taking advantage of it. So you can, if you want, share the information, or you can extend your own joyfulness, be the example, and maybe they can catch on that way. It's also why a lot of people are passing right now. And if we could just do a shout out to them, that would be great. Because whenever there's like a mass exodus, it's because we're going to raise up again. And I just think we need to thank them, because for those of us here, I like the support. Appreciate it. I know that they were complete with their process, but I still think it's kind of cool to thank them. So ride that wave. If you can get to the ocean and ride that wave, think of the power that can bring. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And I love the comments. It's a lot of fun for me to go on the spot back and forth. And I wish you all well with your list making. And let me know if you need help with that. And happy weekend. Bye.